points of struggle. We're called Border Network for Human Rights. We have a base of about 500 families, and so most of the members of the people that came out on April 10th, of the about 1,500 people, about 90% of them were our members. For the past 12 years since we've been active, the biggest need that our communities have is in immigration reform. Basically, we wanted to just make the message loud and clear. We want immigration reform now. Our families can't wait. And stop raids. There's been studies, or approximate studies, that there's about 12 million people in the United States who are here without any sort of immigration status. And that's not counting people who are here on expired student visas, tourist visas, work visas, etc. So a pathway to citizenship for those 12 million plus people would be key, and also acknowledging the future flows. We're against illegal immigration too. We want people to come here in a safe manner, and to come here legally and be able to work and live and be part of with their families. Also, to stop to kind of reform the border as well. They always say, we'll send in more enforcement, we'll build a wall, more technology on the border in exchange for some sort of immigration reform. But we don't have immigration reform, and we have border patrol, and we have the wall, and we have the technology, and we see that the only thing that creates is more deaths. So we want the border to be looked at differently, and to stop congesting it with militarization. And if you speak to border patrol agents or people that work in customs, they'll say the same thing, like immigration reform would ease in their jobs, because then they could target the criminals and the terrorists, etc., and not people who are just here to work or trying to meet up with their families. Just enforcement and accountability in the enforcement that we do have. If someone violates human rights, they should be accountable for that. We'd like to see more sensitivity trainings for border patrol and who work in this area. We just want to work. We want to be with our families, to stop separating our families, stop the raids. And even if there wasn't an immigration reform this year, the president says, well, I can't do it. He can very well send a memorandum to stop raids. The biggest misconception, I think, is just they're trying to take away our jobs, that immigrants take away from so-called natives, or people from citizens. But it's not true. I mean, they take jobs that we don't want. They're seasonal. It's seasonal work. It's jobs in farms and agriculture and construction and domestic services. In the service industry. There's also 65,000 students that don't have immigration status that graduate from high schools every single year. 65,000 every year, and only about 5 of them pursue a higher education. And that's wasted talent right there. So I think it's just we're part of the community. We're part of this country already. We're not the enemy. We're part of the solution. We're part of making this country a great place and a prosperous place, and it goes against American values not to integrate people that have been here for years and years and years. And I guess that's it. That we're not the enemy. We're part of the solution. That's what immigrants are.